Special thanks to our promotional partners at the American Philatelic Society.
The APS is the largest stamp collecting organization in the world, supporting collectors of any level worldwide.
For more information about membership and APS services, visit stamps.org.
I'm Charles Epting from HR Harmer in New York City.
And I'm Michael Cortese of Noble Spirit in Pittsfield, New Hampshire.
And this is Conversations with Philatelists. Now, Michael, our guest today is somebody who I think a lot of people have probably dealt with indirectly in the hobby, because he runs one of the largest philatelic marketplaces online. Who are we going to be talking to today?
Today we're going to be talking to Sebastien Delcampe. Runs the largest European marketplace for online stamps. I mean, it's terrific what he's done. And
not just stamps, postcards, right. Coins, collectibles, everything. But I think stamps are obviously the focus and probably how most people know him. And it's a wonderful website. When I was first getting started, there were things, the fact that he's based in Europe, there's a lot of European sellers. And there were things I couldn't find on eBay, couldn't find on, any of the usual US sources. So you turn to his website and it's got everything. It's an incredible resource. I still, browse from time to time and find one or two little things for my collection. So it's just a really wonderful resource for collectors.
Yeah, and you mentioned eBay, and it's quite interesting because he's almost been going as long as eBay, this website. I mean, the eBay founded in 1995. He founded his website in 2000, but eBay didn't come to Europe until late 1999. So he launched his Delcampe almost simultaneously.
Concurrently with eBay.
With eBay Europe.
And it's managed to remain. There's so many of those early websites, were right. Popular for a moment, and then didn't. I was thinking of all the .com bubbles. Yeah. The fact that he's managed to stay relevant and continue to grow and continue to be such an integral part of the hobby is really a testament to what he's doing.
Yeah, and I see him going to shows. I see him talking to people, giving speeches. I mean, he's incredibly involved in the philatelic community, which is what I think people like so much about him, and they like so much about the marketplace.
There's a face behind it.
Exactly.
It's not just some generic website that you go buy and sell stamps on. There's a guy, and you talk to him, and he's passionate, and he's he's one of us, I feel, which gives you an added comfort zone when you're buying and selling with somebody like that.
Right. Not to say that other places aren't. There are faces behind. Yeah.
Of course. But it helps eBay, when he's so visible.
Hip Stamp, places like that. Their outreach is incredible as well. I've never
Absolutely.
met. He's actually out of the top people at eBay, Hip Stamp, and Delcampe. He's the only one I haven't met.
I've met Sebastien at he goes to the Monaco show every couple of years, so I've met him briefly there. But I'm really excited to catch up and chat with him, without having to fly all the way to Europe.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, let's bring
get him on.
Let's have him do the rest of the talking. All right. Here we go. Hi.
Hey, Charles.
Hello, Sebastien.
Hey, Sebastien.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. How are you doing?
Very well, and you?
Good, thanks.
Good. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time out to meet with us. This is fantastic. I don't think we've ever actually met in person before.
I don't think so. I think I met Charles already.
In Monaco.
In Monaco as well, yes.
And in the USA, exactly.
Yes, indeed, yes.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much. So we'll just jump right into it. You founded your website in 2000. That's fantastic. You've been going 20 years now. How has it been? How has the journey been really from when you founded it to where it is now? Had you ever imagined that it would be what it is right now? You've got 1.2 million members, 85 million items for sale. It's just a titan of a marketplace.
I will not tell you that it was easy because, of course, we faced many challenges during all these years. As you said, we will celebrate our 20th anniversary in just 2 days. It will be on October 1st, actually. So just the right time to speak about it and to make to think about what happens during all these years. Maybe I can tell you how it started, so you have a better insight on how it has evolved. So it's when I was maybe I was nearly your age. I think I was 22 at that time, and I was selling stamps on eBay. And when eBay started his business in Belgium, I was their biggest stamp seller online, and they contacted me just to check whether I would like to join their team in Belgium. So I went through Brussels as the interview was there, and I met the eBay manager of that time, the Belgian eBay manager. And after the interview, he just said to me that, okay, Mr. Delcampe, I think you will not be capable of managing a site like a marketplace. You don't know enough in technology. You have to learn much. So I decided, okay, maybe he's right. So I came back home and I thought, okay, I think eBay is not doing well in collectibles at that time, actually. So I decided just, okay, let's make a try. And I started on my own, just with my small computers in my kitchen. And I started programming. It took me 6 months to program it, the first version of the site. And I invited 20 friends I had, 20 philatelists. And they joined the site and they asked me, oh, Sebastien, we would like to sell on your site, not only buy your stamps. So I programmed it, a module for selling as well. And these 20 people, they brought 20 other people. And by the time, yes, today we have more than 1 million people using the site. So yeah, it started like that. It was just my hobby.
Mm-hmm. That's incredible. How long had you been on eBay? So the eBay founded in 1995, but they didn't really get to Europe until many years after. So how long was that you were on eBay before you decided to create your own?
I think it was just 1 or 2 years. Actually, I started selling on a Belgian marketplace. The name was Open Deal, and this marketplace was bought by eBazaar, which was a bigger group in Europe, and eBazaar was bought by eBay. And at the time eBay bought, they contacted me actually.
Okay, that's great. So one of the features that I like about your website specifically is that it's not just sellers online, it's also auction houses. So auction houses can actually host their own auctions, post their own catalogs, and then you integrate the bidding live with their auction houses as well. When did you start that? And has that been as successful as you wanted it to be?
Actually, as many of the things we do at Delcampe, there are people who ask us, okay, Delcampe, you are doing things for philatelist buyers and sellers, but what about auction houses? So the auction house is asking me to open something because they wanted to get more exposure for their catalogs. And then we decided in 2009 to start Delcampe Prestige, which was the part of Delcampe for these auction houses. And actually, we started it for the Monacophile show. So we launched it there with the Monacophile sale. And from that time, it went pretty well, yes.
That's fantastic. Yeah, you've got it. It's not just European auction houses. It's American as well. I saw Colonial Stamp Company on there. Do they reach out to you, or do you reach out to them? How do you?
For instance, about Colonial Stamp, we go on shows for many years. Actually, we started doing shows more than 10 years ago, and so we traveled all the world. From Europe to the USA and China and Australia, and there we meet dealers, we meet auction houses, we meet collectors, and they enjoy us just because we talk to them, because we understand their needs, because they know they can feel confident with us. They know that there are real people behind the Delcampe site. They can trust us.
That's something we spoke about in our little introduction when we were talking about you, is that you are very active in the hobby. You are very charitable at the Monaco show, and you attend shows, and you very much, the people behind the website are very visible. It's not just some marketplace that people buy and sell on. Can you talk about, why that's important for you to be engaged in the hobby and to meet people face to face, and, what it means for you personally to be, such an active part of the philatelic world?
I can tell you that I started collecting stamps when I was a kid. I was 7 years old, as maybe you started. Philately has always been my passion. And when I entered this business, just did it by passion. If the company was never about money. Money, of course, it's important. It helps us to make great things, or we try to. But this is not the most important. Knowing that we can bring happiness to people, that there are people that can find the items they have never found anywhere before. They can find it on Delcampe. This is something which is very important to us. When we meet people on shows and they say us, okay, Delcampe, you are all my life. I bought a computer just to go to Delcampe. I cannot do anything else but browsing Delcampe with my computer. These are things that are important for us. And I can tell you, no, I don't do the customer service anymore by myself. But when I did it a dozen years ago, one day my site was broken. So the site was broken. And at that time, I still took the phone. And there was a man called me just to say me, Mr. Delcampe, I'm sorry to disturb you. Probably you have something else to do than answering the phone. But just I am an old person. I am disabled. I cannot walk by myself. And in the morning, the nurse come to take me in my bed and put me in front of Delcampe. And then at night, she takes me from Delcampe to my bed. And so today, I don't know what to do. And so I learned that person I trained him to go to eBay. And I showed him, okay, I will explain you. You go to ebay.be at that time. And you go to stamps, and there you can find things. This shows us that we can do important things for people. And that's why it is important for us to meet and to. And I think this is the only way to really understand the people's needs. When you meet them, because you can send emails asking them questions and so on. Okay, that gives just an opinion, but talking with someone during half an hour or during 1 hour brings you more information that whatever you can expect from a poll, an online poll, for instance.
Yeah. That was going to be one of my other questions. Was do you share a lot of sellers with eBay as well, or Hipstamp, that is, or do you find most of the sellers on your website are exclusive to you?
I don't have precise data about that, but for sure we share buyers with eBay and other marketplaces. You have Hipstamp, you have in the USA, which is popular there. We share buyers because buyers have to browse all these marketplaces to find their stamps. But on Delcampe, we have for sure sellers selling on Delcampe and selling on other venues, but we do not synchronize. There is no possibility on Delcampe for an eBay seller to have all his sales duplicated on Delcampe. We just don't really want that because we don't want Delcampe to become a duplicate of eBay. Otherwise, why people would come not to Delcampe? They just will go on eBay. They are used to eBay, and there is no need to use Delcampe. Yes. Probably we share many dealers with eBay, but most of the time we don't share the same inventory actually.
Mm-hmm. Do you still sell yourself on Delcampe?
Sometimes, yes, because I believe that if I don't do it myself, I will lose the contact with the ground, with the field. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I do that, or sometimes when we have to launch a new feature on Delcampe, and I would like to try it by myself. For instance, we are now working on a new project to give incentive to dealers who will sell for what you do at Number Spirit actually for 1 cent starting price and let the price go up without reserve price. And to do that, I will start myself. I have my own stock because I was a stamp dealer when I started. And sometimes I continue to sell, but of course it's not my main living stream.
Right. Yeah. I see that you're it's focused a lot on the description. So as compared to other places at eBay specifically, or I know for us, we focus heavily on the photos. So we'll take 500 photos and kind of put up a template description, and we let the photos do the talking for you. You really, the photos kind of mirror the auction experience. So you'll take as many photos as they would put on an auction house online and then describe the collection. Do you prefer that way, or how do you feel that that's been beneficial to you as compared to any other way?
I am a collector myself, so I know this is very important to have as many photos as possible. Mm-hmm. That's why on Delcampe we have up to, I think now it's 99 pictures for free per item, and the seller can continue to add new photos in the description if they like so. So yes, it is very, very important for us, and we encourage our sellers to put more pictures and to put better quality pictures, because sometimes it's a bit painful for the buyers, and but it's good for dealers who make the efforts to take good pictures, so they have better results.
Mm-hmm.
How have you noticed people's buying and selling habits changing over the last 6 months or so? What have your impressions of the virus been in terms of have you noticed any changes in the way people are buying and selling?
What I can tell is that of course we have had very good results in the last 6 months. I can between 15 and 25% more. We did without doing more marketing. Actually, we did less marketing. We did not do any show. Yes, the virus, as all crises, they have opportunities as well, and this is an opportunity for the collectible business to go more online. I think that this period now brings more and more philatelists to the internet, and they find that there are possibilities there to still live their passion as they were living it in clubs, for instance, or on shows. They can live it on the internet. And I think this will be as a side effect to bring younger people to the hobby online. Many philatelists, you are young people. I'm still a young man, but most philatelists are older than we are, and many complaints that where is the young generation? What will happen with the stamp business later? That will collapse. Okay, no, because what is missing is that the young people need things that are more interactive, like the internet. And here, having all these people who are philatelists, who have the knowledge of philately, who have the experience, going to the internet. I have seen many experiments like yours. There are many philatelists. They give conferences online, and these people never did any online conference in their life before, and they started now. They share their knowledge, and this is wonderful. I think this will have a very, very good impact on the young generation, and this is the way to follow, I believe.
Yeah, the sharing of knowledge is massive, and we've spoken about it a couple times before, but we're seeing a lot of people who collected when they were younger, and they're, I believe Joe Mullen in one of our interviews had talked about people coming back to it. So we get a lot of emails and hear a lot about people 50, 45, 55, 65 coming back into the hobby after collecting when they were younger. So it's important to engage the younger people as well, but then remind the older people who are now retiring about the hobby that they had, the passion that they had when they were younger, and bring those people in as well. I think that's what this has done additionally in the outreach that we're seeing socially and online. It's connecting a lot of people who want to come back to the hobby for the second time, for the third time.
Yeah, you're perfectly right. Yes.
So, am I allowed to ask how many employees you have now? How large is your company?
Maybe you can bet on that. How many you're saying we have?
How many? It's a great question. I want to say about 150. 150.
150.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good. That's impressive. That means we do a good job. We are 30, between 30 and 35. Yes.
Wow.
And we work in 6 languages. So yes, yeah, we have people speaking different languages at Delcampe. So yes, we do that job with so few people at the office.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's impressive. That's a lot of well managed time.
Yeah, we try to. Yeah, but they are good themselves. They manage themselves. Yeah.
What I think is amazing, and again, something we mentioned in our introduction, so many websites from 2000 are gone. The majority of the internet in 2000 has disappeared. There was the whole .com bubble. How do you explain the longevity of your website? The fact that it's still, it must be one of the longest running philatelic websites that there is. What do you think it is that it has allowed you to last so long, in such a changing world? Because the internet is very different in 2020 than it was in 2000, and you're one of the few consistent parts of that.
Yeah, a dinosaur, but living dinosaur. That's wonderful. I don't know if the resilience, or you understand this? Okay, resilience. I think this is the main reason, because sometimes we faced difficulties. Sometimes we wanted to stop because it was difficult or too difficult, and we continued. Not because I am someone very courageous and I want to, but just because the community of collectors helped us to continue. I can tell you that in 2007, we have lost all our data. We were 7 years old. And the system engineer actually deleted the database. Okay, it was a mistake. And the problem was, as he was not very good, the backup was not done. So the backup was 10 days before. And for us, 10 days of transaction was a complete nightmare. Just because, of course, we have lost 10 days of commission, which is okay. But all our sellers and buyers, they have lost 10 days of transactions, meaning there were stamps that were sold during these days that were again put on sale. So again sold to someone else. And they have no track on what happens. So at that time, really, we thought the business could collapse. But as I think maybe that may look strange, but I think that our users love us. Actually, it's kind of love. They love Delcampe. As you say, we are there for 20 years. They know we plan to be there for the next 20 years as well. We don't want to be like a star, a falling star. We want to be in the long run. We have time, in 25 years, maybe retire it. I hope my daughter will continue or someone else. But okay, we are not in a hurry, and we want to be there for the collectors. And okay, most of the time they make all our advertising. The month-to-month advertising is what works the best for us. Yes.
So you have, as we'd said before, 85 million items for sale. Do you know approximately how many sellers you have on your marketplace?
Yes, we have between 30,000 and 40,000 sellers.
That's
there are professional and private sellers. If we just count the professional sellers, we have between 2,000 and 3,000.
Okay.
Earning their living with their sales on Delcampe, which is quite impressive. That shows us that, okay, what we do is important as well, because we help all these families to earn their livings thanks to their sales on Delcampe.
Mm-hmm. So this is kind of a bit of a tougher question. A lot of marketplaces struggle with people abusing things, posting fake items or forged items. How do you deal with stuff like that? A seller posting something either intentionally or unintentionally, a lot of the time, posting items that might not be genuine.
Actually, I will I will tell you again, that's the greatest asset we have is our community of collectors. First, because as this is a community, I will not tell you that all people know each other on the site, but there is this atmosphere, and people know that if they tell us that this item is not genuine, we will check that and we will do something. On each item on the site, there is a report link, and in this report link, they can tell us why they believe this should not be on the site. Sometimes it's illegal, that can happen, but sometimes it's not genuine, and it is not described as so, because we accept the forgeries on site as far as they are described as forgeries, of course. Because they are collectors of forgeries. I am myself, because when you plan to become expert in some categories, you have to have your own forgeries to be able to recognize them. And so we have the community reporting us which items they believe are forgeries, and then we check this. We have in our company 2 philatelists and 2.5, because we have now hired a professional stamp dealer in Germany, part-time, half-time actually, doing that for us. And we have a moderator project. So these are members of the site. They are passionate by, most of the time, one single category. There's something of their field of expertise. And they contact us just to say, okay, Delcampe, I would like my category to be a paradise. I want it to be very clean, and I want to invest my time to do that. And then we give them special rights. And these rights, we are confident with them. We first check who they are, their references. And once we have verified that they are, we can consider them as experts in this category, they become moderator. And then they have the right themselves to close a sale. So when they see something which is a fake, they can close it without even asking to us at Delcampe. This is how we manage it. And of course, if a seller puts again and again forgeries, and at the end we believe this is not by chance, it is something intentional, then we start to suspend him for 1 day, then 7 days, then 25, and then he's over.
So you feel a real responsibility to make sure that this is a clean, legitimate, safe space for people to buy. You want to make sure that there's as much, responsibility as possible, so that people. I think that's what certainly helps build confidence with a brand name such as yours. If people know that there is somebody receptive at the other end of the line who will investigate a complaint.
Exactly. But I cannot tell you that everything is checked, of course. Every day on Delcampe, we have between 200,000 and 300,000 new items putting online. So we cannot check everything.
You
I
check
made the
all of those
calculation
personally, right?
During the night. Yeah, during the day I work, and during the night I check this. Yes, of course.
So you'd mentioned that you collect fakes and forgeries as well. What else do you collect? Can you talk a little bit about your collecting interest?
Myself?
Yes.
Yes. Actually, I believe I collect too many things, but my main collection are classic stamps from the whole world before 1900. I collect forgeries that interest me much, and I collect Belgian stamps. I am specialized in médaillon stamps. I know you see it, not the first issue, but the second one of Belgian stamps. I collect them, but I specialize in that. I like as well to have all number ones on the world on cover. This is a collection I do. But most of my collection is just something that I find appealing. Okay, if it is nice and I can buy it for less than the actual price, the real price, okay, I buy it. Because, there is still a dealer behind me. I just buy if I am sure that I can sell it for a higher price later.
It sounds like you've got an amazing community on there of really passionate dealers that are kind of following in the footsteps of a passionate dealer himself.
I could say yes, yeah.
It seems to me like you're trying to create, and the fact that you started out with this as a website just for yourself to sell, it seems like you're trying to create a platform that you would have wanted to use when you were getting started on the internet in the late 1990s.
When I started, yes, of course. And today I continue to do a bit like that, but okay, I know I am a bit older, and I know that I don't know everything. At that time, I thought that okay, of course I know everything, but now I know that I have to ask to the other and to analyze what their needs are, which is a bit more difficult because all needs are not the same. And now when we change something important on Delcampe, we do a beta testing always, just to check that, okay, it will be okay for the users. For instance, we are working presently on a system to simplify the invoicing and delivery system, to automate this, which is not something very innovative, because eBay does that for many years, but on Delcampe not yet. So just because we have a different public and we want to respect them and to go step by step, not going too fast to bring new features to the site. And yes, here we are about to start, I think in 3 or 4 weeks, the beta testing about that. Okay, it can be, I believe it will be a bit hard at the beginning, but it's better to have hard beta testing and to have a smooth real launch after.
Mm-hmm. So you're always innovating. Speaking of which, I see that you offer your own payment system. So can you talk a little bit about that? How does that work? I mean,
yeah, it's just for sellers on Delcampe. Actually, up to 2 years ago, most of our sellers and buyers used PayPal to pay on Delcampe. Mm-hmm. And we were dependent of PayPal, meaning, okay, if someday something happened to PayPal, okay, our business is nearly broken, which is not, okay, it's safe for us and for our community. And so we decided that we could do something different. I will not say it is better than PayPal, because PayPal has better things and Delcampe has other things. We are cheaper compared to PayPal, for instance. And so Delcampe is available in many countries, different method of payments. It is less expensive than PayPal is. But I can tell you a good news is that we are presently discussing with PayPal to integrate them into Delcampe, which will be better, because we will have the best of both worlds. We will have all advantages of PayPal and of Delcampe in the same product. I believe this will be ready, probably not this year, but really soon, actually.
So are you working on anything that you hadn't quite mentioned yet? Any ideas that you have for the website that, I understand if there's anything you can't talk about, but but that you might want to talk about?
Okay. Ideas, yes, there are hundreds. So if you have time, it's okay. But yeah, there are many ideas. Actually, there are more ideas than what we can do, because as you know, now we have a small team. So we have to choose what we plan to do. For next year, we are now preparing the strategy for the next 2 years. We always work like that, always 2 years in advance. Myself, I have a larger plan, but with the team, it is only 2 years. Next year, we will work on improving site usability. This is important. A site which has evolved during 20 years. Each time we put a feature, it's a new layer on the site and a layer on a layer. And at a certain point, we are losing user friendliness, actually. So we have to improve this. We are working to enhance the site speed as well. I can tell you that this year we have the site is 4 to 5 times faster than it was at the beginning of the year, and it is very important for countries like the USA for us, because our servers are still in Europe. And so when you access the site, there was a certain slowness at the beginning of this year. Now it's becoming better, and next year we will continue. And there are possibilities. We plan to add the new servers in the USA, so that will be fast as if Delcampe was based in the USA for you. And for next year, I can tell you, yeah, we have new markets as well, because we are very active in philately, postcard collecting, coin business. We are quite good, but we are nearly nowhere in what we can do. So we plan to start coin business in Europe mainly, and And for the USA, we plan to do better in stamps because we are a bit late, I believe, in stamps in the USA.
Yeah, those are some impressive numbers. I think the post were 55 million current auctions, and stamps were 25 million. You've got a lot of items in topicals. Is that a heavy category over there? Or the way you categorize items, the topical items had a lot of. For when I was looking at it, it looked like Germany had 35 million items. France had something like 2.5 million. And then the next number after that were animals and birds at 700,000. So is that simply because items are posted in multiple categories and the items, people are posting things in Germany and birds, or people posting that many items in animals and birds alone?
Now, presently, one item is only present in one category. This is something we are thinking to change. As you know, on eBay, you can choose different categories for a single item. This is something we still avoided just to avoid the effects of having so many items available in so many categories. There are already so many things to check for the buyers. But yes, we have many subcategories as we are a specialized site. You know, we have 25,000 different categories on Delcampe. This is what, that helps our branding as well, because the buyers, when they go to Delcampe, they understand they are on a specialized site. On the other hand, sometimes it's a bit too complicated, these categories. Sometimes we go too deeply in the categories. So we have to find the right balance. And this is something we still have to work on to simplify the user experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, this has been fantastic. Charles, do you have any other questions?
No, I love hearing because I think that as much as U.S. collectors love and use your website, I think hearing about the changes and the speed and usability in the U.S. are fantastic, because I really think that there is, again, we know about it, but I think there's a lot of room for growth as well. And it's great to hear that that's a focus moving forward. So again, as somebody who before I got involved in the professional side of things, when I was first starting to collect, I actually didn't collect as a child. I started when I was a teenager, and yours was one of the first websites I visited. And I thought I was a really big spender. I think I spent $4.50 on your website. And that to me was, I couldn't imagine spending more money than that on a postage stamp. So as somebody in the US, your site was very important to me early on. And I love hearing that, you're focused on expanding that market. So no, it's just been really great to catch up and hear the backstory, because again, I'm sentimental when I think of how I started out, buying through you guys years ago.
Thank you for sharing that with me. You know, as I told you, these are the kind of story that is important for me. Just to know, okay, as a teenager, somewhere I could help you to jump into philately. So this is important for me. And what about your first transaction? Was it okay?
It was fantastic.
Okay, great. That is very important for me. Yeah.
Again, it's you're doing collectors a huge service, and again, I just love that you are and your staff. You guys are very very public and very approachable, and it feels like, even though it's a marketplace with millions upon millions of items, it feels like you're working with a dealer one-on-one, basically. And I think that's a really unique feeling to have when you're, again, it's a gigantic marketplace, and it doesn't feel like that at all. It feels like sitting down at the local stamp shop with somebody.
Yeah, maybe I did not tell you, but you told that yourself. There are our team is approachable, so you can see them. If you go to the site, you check the page who we are. You can see the single picture of each of my employee there, and you know that if you need some help for the US people, for instance, you will contact Sylvia of my team or Marguerite of my team. She will be your contact person. She will reply personally, and you know that for sure this will be the real person in front of the keyboard helping you. This is important for us. And you talked about bringing something to the Philatelic community. I did not mention it yet, but we have a blog as well. And on the blog, we have articles about philately. And maybe a small message, if there are associations in the USA or elsewhere in the world who wants to publish something, you can always contact us, and we will be more than happy to give awards, to spread the word about other philatelic activities. And we have a magazine as well. The magazine is unfortunately mostly available in French. We do this every 2 months, but we do an edition in English once every 2 years, and we gave it out in Monaco there because Delcampe organized a cocktail in Monaco Phil. And for this occasion, we print an English edition of Delcampe magazine. And now we have decided 2 times a year that we will produce a magazine in English as well, and in the 5 other languages. So this will happen 2 times a year. And this is available for free, actually. You can download it, read it, and share it with your friends. This is something we just give back to philately.
That's fantastic.
It's incredible. Again, you're one of us. You're as much a passionate collector as, again, it doesn't feel like a business. I mean this in a good way. It doesn't feel like a business person running the website. It feels like a philatelist running the website. And I think that's the most important thing.
I think people really appreciate the transparency behind everything. It really makes them feel safe.
Okay. Great. That is important. Yes.
Well,
wonderful. Well, it's been really great catching up with you. This has been wonderful. It's a shame not being able to attend any of there are no European shows to attend even, but the fact that we're able to chat like this is wonderful.
Yeah.
I believe so. And you're, what you are doing, guys, now here, I follow your YouTube channel, and I am now one of your fans there. I believe it's very wonderful because you connect people, you help them to see what others are doing, and the way you do it is very, very, very nice because it is it's quite relaxing. And people like me being in front of you are having a good time as well. So, okay, I think it's good for everyone.
Thank you.
We loved having you. We really appreciate you taking the time to talk.
It was fantastic to meet you. I hope we get to meet in person sometime soon.
I hope so.
Well, thank you so much. This has been fantastic. It was an absolute pleasure learning about the beginning of your marketplace, your website, and the journey that you've been on. It was fantastic to hear it.
Thank you. It was fantastic to explain as well for me. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna go browse and probably buy a couple of things for old time's sake later today. So if you
yes, please.
if you see my name pop up, I'll go make a hopefully bigger than my original $4 purchase that I made.
Okay, great. I see everything on the side, so I will see you, of course.
You can tell if you're lying.
Sebastien, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, that was fantastic. Yeah, Sebastian's a great guy.
I had been wanting to talk to Sebastien since I knew he existed, since I heard of Delcampe.
It's fantastic. Again, that was a really important website for me early on before I had any notion of this. So to be able to thank him personally and to hear his story and get the whole backstory of how that website came to be was really a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's a collector and he's interested in promoting the hobby and making sure that people get their stamps. The story he told about how when his website went down, he got on the phone and directed the guy to eBay just so he could buy stamps. He doesn't have I'm sure he has a competitive bone, but it's not
ruthless. It's very much, again, I relate to him, and I feel like a lot of people in the business side of things, maybe I can't relate to because I'm still a collector at heart. I'm still passionate. And when he talks, I hear myself. Mm-hmm. And obviously very different paths and everything, but I really think he's one of us, and I like that.
Yeah, what he's done is fantastic, and I love that he's innovating. He's got plans. They talk about these 2-year plans, and then he's got plans for the future, and he's just trying to make things easier for people who want to buy stamps.
It seems like they're not going anywhere anytime soon. They've been around 20 years. Happy birthday to their website. And it seems like they're going to be around many, many more years.
Yeah. I really look forward to meeting him in person someday, and he's been a terrific influence on the hobby, and making sure that competition exists for marketplaces for people to sell online is just exactly what the hobby needs. It's what people need to they need different things. He said he didn't want to make it just a mirror image of something else.
I'm going to use that as a segue to our next guest,
Yeah.
who not only is a very well-known show dealer, who I love seeing whenever I travel, but this gentleman is a big eBay dealer and actually runs his own auctions. He's got an incredible online store, one of the greatest online stocks, but runs his own auctions as well through his website, which are a lot of fun. Our next guest is going to be Eric Jackson.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to speaking with him because he's the biggest revenue dealer in the U.S.
He is Mr. Revenue. He's the go-to for anything revenue related, not just U.S. revenues. He does worldwide. He's remarkable when it comes to revenues. But just additionally, one of my favorite people in the hobby in terms of people I like to get dinner with, people I like to hang out at their booth. Eric's as good as it gets. So really looking forward. It's been since the Sarasota show back in February. Was the last time I saw him. We got dinner together with Stanley Pillar at that show, and had no idea that would be the last time I'd see all those guys for the rest of the year. So, normally by now I would have hung out with Eric some more, but it'll be great to catch up with him virtually.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it a lot. I think he'll be our first eBay dealer.
That makes sense. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So Eric's going to be a great one. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, me too. Well, Charles, until then, people can find us on YouTube. They can find us on any place you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
Spotify Podcasts.
We've got our own website, philatelypodcast.com.
We've got philatelypodcast@gmail.com is our email. We have a Twitter feed. Do we have a Twitter feed, or do you just have a Twitter feed?
My own personal Twitter, but we should start...
Why don't you hype your personal Twitter feed?
Really? Okay.
Sure.
It's just at Michael J. Court on Twitter.
Not to be confused with Michael J. Fox.
Right, yes.
It's very similar.
Great distinction there.
We should have we'll get a Twitter at some point.
People have been waiting for it. I see people tweet to me, and then they try to tweet to Charles, and they just can't do it. They just can't. He's unreachable.
Well, I like to keep a low profile. Philatelypodcast@gmail.com, philatelypodcast.com, all the normal podcast websites.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
We're not that hard to get a hold of.
We're really not. I'm super accessible.
Me too. I try to be. Yeah. I try to be. Sometimes I respond to your texts. But yeah, without further ado, we'll have Eric on next week. Big thanks again to Sebastien. And this was a lot of fun, Michael.
Yeah, great. Until next time.
We'll talk soon.
We'll talk soon.